Hey all you Golemancers, welcome back. Bronze Dragon here, bringing you a deep dive into the new things that Yixn has been working on and putting out, most recently, the Trinket crates, which I mentioned in my prior video a couple days ago. However, he did drop them Friday, and then my guild, I did a guild bulk buy, which ended on Saturday. And thanks to everybody who bought, we did achieve the second level of the bulk buy, which was 100. And then that ended up getting those who participated an extra 10% on the airdrop points. So we got a little bit extra there. As you can see, I ended up buying 35. And this is going to be a deep dive. I want to discuss what's, first of all, like what is in the airdrop crates, which are still currently for sale and you can still buy, and what are each of the type of items and what their uses are going to be in the game. Some of them can currently be used. Some of them are for future uses in the game in future gameplay. So let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, I've got the page open where he shows exactly what you can get in each crate. Now, right up front, I'm not paid for, I'm not receiving anything for this. Everything that, all the crates I bought and everything. So I'm just a regular player. I'm just trying to cover the game and, do how I see it. Now, taking one step back before we start this, I do want to say that if you're in my guild, we have recently started a push to go up a level in guild. So please go ahead and donate some part and shard, just a little bit. I'm not putting a mandatory on it. I'm not one of those guys. But as people donate, we can raise the level of the guild, and that benefits everyone because at certain stages we get extra % on all of our claims. Okay, that's a brief disclaimer. Also, if you're playing Golem Overlord and you're active and you want to slot in a guild, let me know because we've got one chair open. So, okay, with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. And I've been doing a little bit of homework on this because Yixn has been putting out a lot of stuff, fast and furious. He's had a lot of ideas. He's been coding. He's been putting this together fast because I'm certain, a lot of work on the coding part, but also a lot of work on, getting all the artwork together and everything like that. So been doing a good job, but it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into what is in the crates, what's possible, and what everything is used for. Okay, so first of all, at the top of this page, and I'll leave links, but it's all directly linked off of the main Golem Overlord page, so you can get the link right there. Okay, so each crate is about $1. So at this point, it's 3.26 hive for each crate. Okay, so each crate contains one of the following: 42.5% a nanotonic or a forge sigil. And we're getting ready to go through that. Those are the most common. Okay, 9.5% a module, 5% an advisor, and a very small percentage, 1/4% an advisor skin or an animated background. Both of which of those, although very rare and cool to have up on your screen, are artwork only. Okay, so they don't have stat bonuses. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and preview the contents. And I'm also going to open the crates that I purchased, but I just wanted to explain and kind of dive in and see what everything meant and what the uses were. Okay. And by the way, if I get something wrong, go ahead, and if you know it's a fact, go ahead and point it out in the comments and we'll talk about it. Okay. Okay, this may be a long video, but bear with me. You can skip around if you wish, but I just want to cover everything succinctly. Okay, so the very small percentage we just discussed, purely cosmetic. Here's a background, and we're just going to roll through these. Purely cosmetic, kind of cool animated background. See the blinking eyes, kind of flora fauna type background. Then we get into the skins. Okay, so this is a skin for an advisor. Once again, another skin for an advisor, purely cosmetic. Okay, So I've never been one of the ones that plays the game and buys the cosmetics. That's just not me. If I'm going to buy something, I don't have anything against buying something in a game, right? It supports the company that's putting the game out and whatever. But I don't buy things just for the visuals. So this is not something I would buy. If I got it, I would probably sell it on the market and buy something that had stat bonuses. That's just me, though. That's my play style. Okay, the next one, and you'll notice that most of this top row here has promo exclusive written on it. This is an emergency claim. Instantly readies your claim cooldown. Your next claim will be 35 through 100% efficiency. So this is an instant claim. Basically, if you're in an emergency, like me lately, I've been getting bashed right, left, and center. If I want to go ahead and use it, I can do an instant claim, okay? And your next claim will be faster. And depending upon the rarity, it's between 35 and 100%, okay? Next up, Scavenger's Fortune guarantees one of the rarities, NFT drop from scavenging through the Relic Radar. I don't have any facts on Relic Radar yet, but it's a new feature, a new gameplay feature that's getting ready to be, he's going to roll it out pretty soon. So this, depending upon the rarity you draw, guarantees an NFT of that, rarity, okay? Another promo exclusive recording capsule refunds 90% of the last levels of one skill in comp. And that is 1 through 15 levels. So it will refund 90% of 1 through 15 levels of one skill in comp. And the last promo exclusive, this is showing Machine God's Blessing. Convert 10 through 100% reputation to 5 through 50 experience. So this is used to convert reputation into experience, and the values depend upon the rarity that you end up drawing. Okay. Basic Amplifier. Amplifier is going to be one of these cards that comes into play. Let's jump around here just a little bit. When you go into Expedition, the new the new mode that he's working on, it's one of those cards that you will be using. I'm looking for my inventory, which is right there. Okay, so you go into your inventory. This is where you can set your cards. You will see where you can set your background cards. You can set your advisor module and your tech. Okay, so the advisor module and tech is going to come into play when you start playing the new expedition mode, whenever it comes out. Okay, let's go back. I just wanted to cover that really quickly, just so we know what we're talking about. So this is a basic amplifier, and when you draw this card, it is not very much like in other games where you have a magic item that's not identified yet. These items are not identified yet. Okay, and we'll go over that when I go into the article that he put out that explains how to identify and everything. A lot of this involves part and shard burns, obviously, to help the value of part and shard stay up and go up. So the basic amplifier, 2 small stats. That's basically where you're going to start out. And then as you work up in rarity, you have a superior amplifier, you have an ultra amplifier, and you have some other ones that are above that, I believe. But basically, as you go up, the stats get better. But when you first draw them, and I will go over this again because it's a valid point to reiterate, is that before you identify them, they're tradable. So if you want to sell these items, don't identify them, because once you do, they're soulbound. There is a way to go ahead and make that, sellable again, but it's going to involve more cost. So just keep that in mind. If you've got a good one, you've identified, you're using it, and you don't necessarily need one of the other ones, then you may decide to go ahead and keep that unidentified. Okay, next up, we have scouts. And if you'll remember, we discussed the scout pass. These are the scouts from the scout pass, basically, that you can also receive in the trinket crates. Okay, so these you can have 1 scout active at any one time, and you can have 1 potion active at any one time. Okay, and what they do is they buff certain stats, and they last for 1 claim period. So if your claim period is 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, obviously the longer you have them active, the better use you get out of them. But as we all know, the longer you go, the bigger your stash gets, the more likely you are to get attacked. So now, with that said, we'll look at the scouts. This is a titanium scout, and he increases your chances of victory, steal ranges, and basically he gives you 3 buffs here. So you can get a minus 3% claim cooldown, 10% higher steal value, and plus 5% attack. So, and that is good for that one claim period. So you're decreasing your cooldown period while you're increasing your percentage of attack and stealing. So this would come into play. I think most of these scouts come into play where if you're doing a lot of attacks. So if you want to get your best value out of them, you may save up all your attacks and then pop this, and then, well, you may wait until kind of the end of your claim period, pop this, go through all your attacks, and then claim. So, and obviously everybody's opinion of how to do that may vary, but once you start getting a bunch into your stash, you become a great target, right? So we've got this type of scout called Bane. Disables all scouts against you until your next claim, plus 5% defense. So this may be one that instead of waiting until the end, you pop it and you use it through your whole period, because this helps defend, okay, just like it says. Okay, next up, Chronos. Scouts the precise claim cooldown of enemies until the next claim. Minus 3% claim cooldown while active. Okay, so this is something that you would pop. Anybody could probably benefit from this and pop it, and you're just decreasing your claim cooldown period by 3%. Okay. Rustwing. Next scout up. Scouts the precise steal ranges until the next claim. 10% higher steal while active. This is another one of those that you would want to pop and probably burn through a bunch of your attacks to make the best use of it. And obviously, you would probably want to claim pretty soon thereafter, otherwise, right? Okay, Silver Sight. Scouts the precise chance of victory until the next claim, plus 5% attack chance while active. Okay, so what we're seeing is that we talked about the titanium, and it seems like it is a combination of Rustwing, Silver Sight, and Chronos. So you get that 3-in-1. Obviously, it's more expensive and it's rare. But same idea. You've got plus 5 attack chance, so something you would want to pop and use a bunch of attacks to get your best value out of. Okay, now a really rare one, and somewhat of a joke it sounds like, Yixn's Hair duplicates a module without the duplicated tag. Both items get the duplicated tag. I don't understand. I don't know. It seems like it makes a second copy of a module. I don't know what comes into play as far as where he's saying without the duplicated tag and then immediately states both items get the duplicated tag. Don't know. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's inside. But this appears to be very rare, probably very expensive, and it's a way, apparently, to duplicate a module. If you've got a nice module, make a second copy of it. Okay. Arcane Dice. It's a Forged Sigil. Rerolls 2, 3, 4 stat values on a module. And once again, when we get to the next page, we will discuss what Forged Sigils are. Nullification Crystals removes a variety modifier on a module. So it removes a modifier on a module. If you have a module that you're trying to change and make better or upgrade, I don't know why you'd want to downgrade it, but this is a way you can nullify it and then probably replace the modifier with something different. Okay. Now, Transmutative Orb removes and adds a modifier on a module. So it removes a random, not strongest, adds a medium or lower, a random, a medium or lower, a random modifier on a module. So this is not as a rare, but it's going to replace a modifier with a lower, it's not going to replace it with a higher end modifier. It looks to be a medium or lower. Okay, so Voidstone unpredictably reshapes a module. So this is something that if you have a module and it sounds like you don't like it, it's not something you're going to use, you can take a chance and use a Voidstone on it, and gives you a percentage chance to change it. So it's 60 to 40% chance, 40 to 60% chance nothing happens, 5 to 30% reroll all stats, 5 to 20% downgrade and reroll, 5 to 15% destroy, and 0 to 20% upgrade, all depending upon the rarity. So that remains to be seen. It does sound like you do. What's interesting there is you're going to have a percentage chance to destroy it, but you're also going to have a higher percentage chance that nothing happens. You're going to also have a percentage chance that it actually downgrades. and you're going to have a very small chance that it upgrades. So I don't know. That's a big gamble there, because just taking those percentages into count, I probably would go the route of making my current module sellable, selling it on the market, and buying something else versus wasting a void stone and the possibility of destroying it. That's just me. Okay, we've got Smelter's Trinity, chance to infuse a module with an extra stat. Once again, we have the percentage chance of nothing happens, chance for a small stat, chance for a medium stat, chance for a big stat. Each module rarity has a stat cap for each magnitude. So I like the idea of this. Obviously, you're going to have a pretty high chance for nothing to happen. What I like here is there's no chance of destruction. So I like the idea of the Smelter's Trinity. It might be something that I would, obviously, the higher rarity that you get, the higher percentage chance you're going to have something good happen, right? So, okay, Pure Pyrite. Grant 3 times a pyrite when dismantled, 6 to 768 pyrite used, and the pyrite is used to forge quality on modules, and we'll go over that here in a minute. And we get into the potions, and the potions are, once again, we'll go back to here, are on the Alchemist Claim Pass, very similar if you're doing that, but these will be available single drops, and once again, they exist for 1 claim period, and they're single use. Okay, and they all, just like potions in other games, they give you some type of buff. So Vigor Vial, gain 4 to 20 energy, also gives 4 to 20 max energy until next claim. So if you're capped out, it improves your cap, plus it gives you extra energy. Faith Potion, provide a boost of faith by 3 to 15 until the next claim. 1 potion, it goes ahead and states what we've talked about. 1 potion can only be active at any time. So you have to kind of figure out how you're going to play and use a potion that would benefit that. I think the faith has a dual-sided benefit. So I think it would work both ways, whether you're just sitting back and, well, we can talk about that, or attacking. It helps with attack as well. Fortification Potion provides a boost to fortification by 5 to 20 until the next claim. Okay, obviously that's something you don't want to pop and help your fortification out, especially if you happen to be targeted. Like lately, I've been targeted by one person. They're hitting me with multiple different accounts, but you can see in the naming convention that it's one person, right? So maybe I might want to kind of pop the fortification potion if I start getting drilled and help my fort out. So. Next up, Power Potion. Provides a boost of power by 5 to 20 until the next claim. Okay, so obviously that helps if you're going into an attack, a run of attacks. Relic Radar. Provides a boost to Relic Radar by 1 to 6 until the next claim. Once again, I don't really know what Relic Radar is. Remains to be seen. Now, next up are the advisors, which I think there's a 5% drop in these crates, and I think they are probably what I would hope to get out of the crates, out of all this, okay? Because the advisors, one of those pieces of main pieces of equipment, if you will, that you're going to need in the new game feature. So they go through a variety of advisors, and as they go up in rarity, you'll see that their stats improve, and it really just, each one has different buffs, different types of buffs, and you just really have to figure out how you play and pick the one out that is best for your playstyle. So the first one is Varric, I almost said Velric, Varric the Forged, and he gives a bonus to food. Now, in this new run, it seems like it might resemble something like the mine run in Splinter Forge, where you have to have food and you're trying to make your way through it. Obviously, we don't have many details on it, but you're trying to make your way through it, and the plus percentage on food may help you get further. I don't know. Just guessing. We'll see when he releases more details. Now, Briar the Botanist. Your golems gain 1 to 6 thorns. I don't see, if you'll notice in the orange to red, there is no jump up from orange to red. I would think that the red would need to be a little bit higher. But anyway, it gives thorns. Obviously, if you're familiar with playing Splinterlands or other games where you cast thorns on you, the enemies are going to take damage off of you. So that always helps in most cases. Selene the Luminary. 20 to 150% chance, increased chance to find divine encounters. Now, obviously, this sounds like something in the new play mode where you will have something called a divine encounter. One can only guess. Sounds like a good thing to get, obviously, and if it turns out to be something you're focused on, your play focus, maybe you might want to use Selene and boost your chance to get the divine encounters. We will see what that means. Alaric, the alchemist, 4 to 12% to not consume a potion on use. Not even going to guess on that. It's obvious that if you use a potion, you have a percentage chance of not using that potion and still getting the buff. And I'm just, who knows? Maybe you're going to have the percentage chance of using a different type of potion when you're doing the new mode, and the potion would benefit you during that run through. We'll see. When we get more details out, we'll talk about it. And as you notice, we're going up in rarity. So my guess is these stats, Yixn has kind of thought them through, and the stats are becoming better and better as the rarity goes up. So Eldrick the Augur, 5 to 12% chance to scout one tile further. If you're familiar with playing these tile-based games, oftentimes it helps to know what's ahead. If you've got to make a decision tree here, which way do you go, and you have a little bit more information at your disposal, you can make smarter decisions. So seems to me, maybe that's just a guess, but that seems logical to me. Okay, so Pirhus the Flamekeeper, after taking damage, Pirhus envelopes all your golems in a cloak of ash, reducing damage taken by 25 to 35% for one turn. So he shields them. So after taking damage, this guy is going to shield your golems for one turn for 25 to 35% chance. Sounds good. Shield's always good. Forge the Tinkerer, 5 to 25% chance to repair 10% of health after a fight. Getting healed is always good, right? And the last one on the page is Morose the Shade, 100% chance to enshroud your golem in shadows at the start of combat, making them untargetable. Attacks break the invisibility but deal bonus damage. Okay, this sounds very much like being in stealth mode when you're a rogue, right? You get behind them, get a backstab, and the backstab gives you 100% extra damage, and then the fight can commence. That always helps. If you've ever gotten backstabbed by a rogue in a game, you know what I mean, or stun locked, etc. Okay, so that was a run through of the cards available in the chest, and on this page, we kind of loosely went over this in my last video, but I wanted to go through it again to give a little bit more detail. I have explained as we went through the items basically what they were, but I want to go ahead and go through this again because this is directly from Yixn. So first of all, for the modules, this is something I discussed earlier. Modules drop in an unidentified state, and during this phase, they are unbound and fully tradable. Okay. If you want to identify its stats, you can go and do so by burning Shard. But keep in mind that identifying a module binds it. You can make it tradable again by burning Part. Okay. So all these come with costs. Okay. I don't have any costs right off the bat. I guess we'll have to get into it to find out how much it costs, but it all goes towards, burning everything and keeping the value of the tokens up there. Okay. Now, he does have some burning mechanisms on the modules. Trade 2 for 1. Give up 2 identified modules to get a new unidentified one, plus a shard burn fee. So if you have 2 modules that you're not going to use, and you don't feel like trying to sell them on the market, you could go ahead and burn them and pay a shard fee to get a new unidentified module. All this is like gambling, right? So it's not like it is. Okay. The next one, trade 5 for 1. Ready to take a gamble? Give up 5 modules to acquire a new one of a higher rarity. This too requires a shard burn fee. So myself, I would almost rather do the 5 for 1, knowing that I have it's going to for sure be a higher rarity. I almost on this kind of thing, I see what he's doing here to burn and get rid of all the modules and everything. But I would almost rather just try to sell them on the market and then buy what I want. Although we will address the current price of these items, which might be surprising to you, and it might not, though, if you've been checking them out. But we'll talk about that later. So, and on the stats, there are 3 magnitudes of stats, small, medium, and big, with each level offering unique odds and potential stats to acquire. Certain stats are exclusive to medium or big magnitudes, while others span across all levels. For identical stats, a big magnitude will invariably surpass a small one in strength. However, each magnitude has a specific range of values it can attain. Small, 2 to 4, medium, 4 to 8, big, 12 to 20. So what I take away from there is not only do you go up in the number from small to big, there are also some stats that you can only get in, say, medium or big that you can't get in small. Okay. Now, he does give a list here of the different buffs that you can get out of these on the modules, rather, or stats, rather. I'm not going to read through all of them, but they're basically every different possible buff you could think that would be of benefit in the game, plus things we have not heard of a use for before, but will be useful going forward in new game mechanics. Once again, I'll leave the link in the show notes. Okay. Quality is a multiplier to all stats on the item. Quality decreases or increases the stats values by 3.5% per quality. And quality can be increased with Forge. So this is another thing. He's very focused, and we've been talking about since the beginning of the game. He's very focused on burning, getting rid of Forge, getting rid of Shard to keep the price, the value up. Okay. So we'll take a look at this. These are the amplifiers, and you can see the various buffs. Superior amplifier quality, -3 to +1. 1 medium stat, 1 small stat. Omega amplifiers, 1 big stat, 1 medium stat, 1 small stat. And quantum amplifiers, 2 big stats and 2 medium stats. So obviously the rarer they are, the better your stat's going to be. And this all comes into play. You have to really kind of figure out how much money you want to put into this. And obviously as the game goes along and we see how the new play style with we end up finding out how to play the new part of the game he's going to put out, then we'll kind of focus on, what's the better situation on how you're going to, is it worth buying the best? Obviously, there's always going to be people who dump all kinds of tons of money in the game, but I've always been one to kind of find a happy median. What's worth spending money on? What's not worth spending money on? So now, we talked about this earlier, and this is where we're going to put some facts on it. The Forge Sigils. The purpose of the Forge Sigils play a critical role in crafting modules. Okay, so they also have a burn mechanism for the Forge Sigils. You convert your Forge Sigils by burning them, and in return receive pyrite. This blazing currency can boost a module's quality and is an essential component to various crafting endeavors. Okay, so and the example, we kind of went over this earlier, but your Forge Sigils have various effects. We went over these in the last bit where I went over what was available. But the key takeaway here is that you can convert your Forge Sigils by burning them, and then you receive pyrite, which is going to be increasingly needed for different things. Okay, so the next item was animated background. We mentioned this. Cool look. All the props for that. Like I said, I don't really necessarily spend money on just visual things. Now, if they increase my stats in some way, then I would think about it. Nanotonics, we talked about this before. These are single-use consumables. Right off the bat, nanotonics are instantly tradable, and there are no current burn mechanisms on them. You just use them. Whatever it says it does, it does. Scouts, we talked about it. Lasts until your next claim. And then the different nanotonics that have instant effects. We also discussed those. Okay. Now, on advisors, here's where he says that this is for the new expedition mode. Advisors are here to aid. They bestow bonuses, enhancing the efficiency of your runs. Okay. Their utility is they have a set number of uses. Once exhausted, they need to be replenished by burning other advisors. The rarity gets the max number of uses. The higher rarity gets more max number of uses, but also the replenish cost. So the higher your rarity, the more reuses you're going to have, but it's also going to cost more to replenish those reuses. And currently, there's not a burning mechanism for advisors. However, you will notice currently on the there is a infinity symbol at the bottom. I'm not seeing on this piece of art, but there was an infinity. Basically, what it comes down to is I think I read earlier in a comment where he hasn't set the uses yet. So that remains to be seen, but do expect to have to replenish your advisors. It's not one and done, okay? A lot of other games have similar kind of things. It's kind of like being in a game and you're fighting and you have to repair your armor. That kind of idea, right? So, okay, now, that is that. Now, let's go ahead and go into let's go ahead and open some crates, see what I get. So as you can see, I got 35 crates on the guild bulk buy, and I might buy a few more before the end of it, but let's go ahead and let's just open 5 at a time and see what we get here. Okay, Smelter's Trinity, Scavenger's Fortune, another Smelter's Trinity, Machine God's Blessing, and a Faith Potion. I'll stop if I see anything exciting. Nothing exciting yet. So got another Machine God's Blessing, another Smelter's Trinity, a Power Potion, a Void Stone, and Pure Pyrite. Come on, give me something exciting. Yeah. Another Smelter's Trinity, actually 2 more. I've got plenty of that. Chance to infuse a module with extra stat. I guess those may come in handy down the road. Another Void Stone, Scavenger's Fortune, guarantees an abundant NFT drop from scavenging through the Relic Radar, so that might come in handy, and a Recoding Capsule. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of these commons. Void Stone, Faith Potion, Smelter's Trinity, all things we've seen. Nothing exciting thus far. And more of the same. Pure Pyrite, Silverlight, I think that's first scout I've got. Void Stone, Scavenger Fortune, a Recoding Capsule. Another Scout, Chronos, my first amplifier, basic amplifier, at least I've got an amplifier. Machine God's Blessing, Scavenger's Fortune, another Faith Potion. And last 5, come on, let's go. Get something exciting. Yeah, nothing exciting. Hey, I did get a plus 6% food advisor, which is, I see that he's already dictated the amount of uses on the advisors. And it looks like this guy has 3 uses before I have to fix him back up. I did get a superior amplifier, which is better than the basic. I got another basic amplifier, Scavenger's Fortune, and a Machine God's Blessing. So overall, let's see if I can see all these in my inventory. And let's see, I think we could trade out. Trying to figure out how to trade out the more dear version of him. This the page manipulation and how the cards pop up and everything, it's very janky. Yeah. Anyway, I won't delay the video longer, but I will have to bring him into my slot. Let's go ahead and see if we can equip a module. I don't know. That will have to be for another episode. But anyway, this under your inventory is where you're going to equip your advisor module and tech, and we'll get to that. But one other thing I wanted to mention is that on certain cards, you can click on the card and you will be presented with some options. You can here we go. Here's the use, and then you could sell. You can transfer it if you want to send it to somebody. You can also dismantle for pyrite, which we were talking about. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that here. And let's go ahead and use the equip. This is how you do it. It's just the animations on the page is a little bit janky. So I'm looking for the module that I want to equip. Here we go. Oh, okay. So I would have to go ahead and let's go ahead and identify. I see that this will take 242.95 shards. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. I'm not going to do that now because I can't afford to do that now. That's a lot of shards. I've been playing since the very beginning, and I haven't purposefully bought shards, but I haven't sold them off or anything. Had about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000. Then I've been trying to buff up our guild a little bit, so I donated some. So I'm down to 919. I think my opinion on the shard usage, it's kind of going to be along the same lines as the Scoutmaster Claim Pass and the Alchemist Pass. That cost is huge. So I'm gonna have to think about that and give further opinions. But I think I'm gonna have to look at how much these items are going to start costing in shards, because it's a lot of money. We'll see though. Let's go ahead and see what the shard price is on Hive Engine though. I would just like to know right off the bat. We're looking at, so one shard is kind of basically 0.013 Hive, and Hive is about 32 cents right now. So 100 shards is like 42 cents. So I guess in the big picture of things, it's not that much. But I would be very careful about the use and staying within your budget, because there's every point in this game, and I can see he's done this on purpose, involves the burning, which also involves keeping the value of part and shard up and bringing it back up, right? But when you're trying to stick with the budget, you have to say, well, I'm going to, basically it sounds like every time you want to increase the value of an item in the game, it's just going to cost, whether that's in burning cards for pyrite, or whether that's paying for actual part or shard to burn to increase the stats. So we'll see how it goes. And as you know, keep your eye on your pocketbook. Make sure you're spending what you can afford to spend and not anymore. But I think this is a good step forward. He's bringing the game in a good direction. A lot of things to do, and I'm excited about that. I'm not so excited about not getting anything really interesting out of the boxes, but I kind of figured that because that's my luck, right? I will say, though, that things seem kind of expensive on the market. I did briefly go over to the market to look at what some of these items were costing. And like if you wanted an ultra amplifier at this point in time, if the page would, it is asking a 200 Hive. And if I could get my calculator back, 200 Hive times 0.32 cents. So 64 bucks. 64 US dollars if you want an ultra amplifier right now. Okay. If you wanted a Yixn's hair, which as we spoke, it was quite rare. Asking price 5,000 Hive. That's 1,600 US dollars, folks. 1,600 US dollars for a Yixn's hair. Obviously, I think that's probably one of the rarest things in the game. But I just wanted to take a look at these basic things. Okay, here's Alric the Alchemist. I said Alchemist before. I've got Arkham Asylum on the brain. Okay, so 2,990. There's only one available. $957, folks. $957. So I keep going back, and it takes me to that page for some reason. So something is not going right. But I would say that at this point, these cards are pretty pricey. Some of the common ones are not that pricey. Like here, let's see here. Here's a Faith Potion, 4. So you're looking at roughly a little bit over $1. But still, considering that only works for 4, 8, or 12 hours, it's still pretty pricey if you're going to burn through those. Here's the purely cosmetic NFT that's 500. 160 US dollars. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. This all seems pretty expensive. A lot of these seem to have very low amount possible. Maybe a lot of these, especially the higher rarities, only have one available. I don't know if this is Yixn just throwing them up there to get a little funds in the bank, or if this is somebody that actually drew it and is selling it. So that remains to be seen. I'm sure he'll comment on that. But I think this has been a pretty good deep dive. I know it's been pretty long, and there's really no way around it. If you want to cover something in depth, it's going to take some time. So with that said, this has been Bronze Dragon taking a look at Yixn's new trinket drops that you can buy now in the crates. And if you are in a guild that hasn't done it yet, your guild can do the guild bulk buy and get yourself a bonus on the airdrop points. So think about it. Anyway, hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, and I will see you on the flip side.